collection. Today I've pulled out the Canon Zoom 250. This is a Super 8 movie camera. We'll get into what makes it a Super 8 camera in a minute. I picked up this camera more than 20 years ago. Around that time I probably had a dozen Super 8s. The one I should have kept, the Canon 518. I was doing a Super 8 class at school and they're just fun to use. I only have two left, a strange looking one I'll feature at some point on Camera Collection, and this one, the Canon Zoom 250. According to Canon's Camera Museum website, which is a cool site you should check out, this camera was made in 1969 as an export-only camera, so just for cheapskates around the world, not Japan. Unlike the 518 and other featured models, this one is stripped down and simple to use. Most of the body and internals are plastic, even the lens is made of plastic. But the glass in the lens is still nice. I think even a cheap Canon lens is better than most. I kept this one because it's small and simple to use, and though it's mostly plastic, I like the 60s design aesthetic over the later utilitarian look of Super 8 cameras. My favorite feature is the cheesy focus adapter. You point the camera at the foot of your subject, press the button. The ball bearing rolls on an incline, and you release the button to reveal the distance. You can still focus through the lens, but this will get you in the ballpark. It's called Focusmatic. So what is Super 8? This refers to the gauge of the film. Amateur movie making, home movies were captured on various formats over the years. Before Super 8 was simply 8mm, which used a film that was essentially the same as 16mm, but you would run it through the camera and then expose one side and then flip it and film the other. The lab would cut it down the middle, spool it up, and well, as you can imagine, the splitting and flipping were messy. User error could be problematic, and so on. Kodak introduced the new Super 8 format in 1964. This format was a larger picture area and used disposable self-loading cartridges. It made it easy to shoot home movies. My first taste of filmmaking came in college when I took Introduction to Motion Picture Production. At the time, they were using Super 8 cameras and editing to teach the principles of filmmaking. I was hooked. We were using reversal film and editing the original film with tape splicers. Today, there's somewhat of a resurgence in film and Super 8 as its most entry-level analog format. And beautiful cameras have been restored or modified. Kodak even made a new Super 8 camera that finally came out in 2024, though I thought it was way overpriced. You could buy dozens of vintage cameras for the price of this thing. But it does mean that Kodak is still dedicated to making the film and cartridges for your camera and for this one. Sadly, I haven't used this Canon 250 in some years, but I have lent it out to friends for their projects. But I still think it's worth hanging on to, just in case. Thanks for watching.